Welcome to Angel Wings Productions.
Job 2, verse 1 through 13. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou moved me against him, to destroy him without cause? And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone, and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off, and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. Job 2, 1-13. Deep Dive Q&A. Why does this scene with Satan happen again? This is the second divine counsel scene. The first one is in Job 1. The repetition emphasizes the testing's escalation. In round 1, Satan took Job's wealth and children. Now he argues that Job's faithfulness is only skin deep. Job will remain loyal as long as his own body is safe. God allows a second, more personal test to prove Job's integrity goes deeper than self-preservation. Who are the sons of God in this passage? The sons of God refers to divine beings or angels who form God's heavenly court. This reflects ancient Near Eastern concepts of a divine council where God meets with celestial beings. Satan, literally the adversary or the accuser, appears among them, functioning like a prosecuting attorney who challenges the sincerity of human faithfulness. What does skin for skin mean? This is an ancient proverb, likely a trading expression meaning people will sacrifice anything external, possessions, even loved ones, to protect their own life. Satan argues that Job's piety is ultimately selfish. He'll endure any loss except physical suffering. It's a cynical view that all human devotion has a breaking point where self-interest takes over. Why does God allow Satan to torture Job? This is perhaps the most troubling question in the book. God acknowledges that Satan moved me against him to destroy him without cause, an admission that Job's suffering is undeserved. The text doesn't explain God's motivation, which is part of the book's profound wrestling with undeserved suffering. The only boundary God sets is save his life. What's significant about Job's wife telling him to curse God and die? Job's wife has lost everything, too: her children, wealth, and security. Her statement reflects either bitter despair, end this suffering, or pragmatic fatalism. You're gonna die anyway, at least die with honesty. Job calls her response foolish, but his rebuke raises a key theological question. Must we accept both good and evil from God without protest? Job himself will later demand answers from God. What disease did Job have? The text describes sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown, painful lesions covering his entire body. He scrapes himself with broken pottery, suggesting intense itching or oozing sores. Scholars have suggested various diseases: leprosy, pemphigus, smallpox, but the text intentionally leaves it vague. What matters is the totality of his physical agony and social isolation. Sitting among the ashes suggests he's outside the community. Why didn't Job's friends recognize him? Job's appearance was so transformed by disease and suffering that his closest friends didn't know him afar off. This detail emphasizes the severity of his affliction. He's become unrecognizable, almost unhuman. Their reaction, weeping, tearing garments, and throwing dust, follows ancient mourning rituals, treating Job as if he were already dead. What's the meaning of the 7 days of silence? The friends' 7 days of silence is one of the most powerful moments in Scripture. Initially, they do everything right. They show up, they mourn with him, and they simply sit in his suffering without trying to fix it. 7 days was the traditional mourning period for the dead. Their silence honors the magnitude of Job's grief. Unfortunately, when they finally speak in chapter 3 onward, they abandon this wisdom and become miserable comforters. What does "Job did not sin with his lips" really mean? This phrase is carefully worded. Job doesn't curse God, fulfilling Satan's prediction. However, the emphasis on "with his lips" is intriguing. It suggests internal struggle. Job maintains outward faithfulness even while experiencing inner turmoil. The book acknowledges that righteous suffering doesn't mean absence of doubt or pain, but rather maintaining integrity through it. What's the theological problem this passage raises? Job 2 crystallizes the book's central tension. Can righteousness exist without reward? Does human faithfulness to God depend on divine blessing? Satan represents a transactional view of religion. People only worship God for what they get. Job's story tests whether genuine piety exists, or whether all religion is ultimately self-serving. The passage offers no easy answers, setting up the profound dialogues to come.
Please leave a like and subscribe. It'll help our YouTube algorithm.